is on. What's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about love and marriage, Huntsville. This episode was actually really, really good. I enjoyed it. All right, y'all. I'm going to try to make this review as short as possible. I have a lot that I want to say, especially um, about the conversation that was had between Marsau and Marquez. Anyways, all right, let's go ahead and get into the review. So I thought this was actually cute. The title of the show was called Nail Razor. So this is the thing with Nail. Nail really feels like she does not need therapy. She thinks everybody else is the problem. Everybody else needs to go and lie on someone's couch, but I'm good. I just want my money back. I just want my money back, right? Um, it may be due to Nell's age, right? You know, her and Melody had a conversation in this episode. And what Melody did say has some truth to it. Girl, as Black people, we just started really um, realizing that therapy is okay. Just because you go to therapy, it don't mean that you crazy, right? It's good to have someone to talk to. Um, and maybe due to Nell's age, she may feel the way that she feels. I think that could be a part of it. I also really do believe that Nell thinks that nothing is wrong with her. And even though you have everyone in your family telling you that you could use a therapy session or three, she still thinks that I'm not the issue. Y'all are the issue. You see, you know what I'm saying? Um, we'll get into the therapy session later in the review. So Marsau and Marquez. Marquez is Latricia's husband, her legal husband, right? You know, she has been separated from him for 4 to 5 years, I believe that's what they said. And she is with Ken. So Ken is her boyfriend. Marquez is her husband. Even though they have not been together in quite some time. Legally, they're still married, though. Okay? So Marquez meets up with Marsau at Black. Um, Marsau was really swinging Marquez every which way but loose. I really think that Marsau would be the perfect messenger if Tisha wasn't over there a married single mother. I remember the first season, Marsau said that those were Tisha's kids. He's just the father. I remember Marsau not knowing that his son was allergic to, I think, peanuts or something. So he almost took his own son out. Most of the stuff that Marsau said was still the truth. However, because we know Marsau, or we've seen Marsau through our TV screens, and we've seen what he's delivered, and we've seen the things that Tisha has said, we know that Marsau is someone who believes that his presence in the home is enough. But when it comes to raising those kids, that's the woman's job. His job is to protect him, to provide. Tisha's job is to cook, clean, raise the kids, mattress, maid, mule. Right? Again, Marsau was still swinging that man every which way but loose. Again, Marsau was telling some truths. Y'all know Marcel is one of my favorite ones on the show. Why is this good? They can get rid of half of the cast. They can just keep Marcel. Um, I believe that Marcel believes that you stay together for the kids. If you've watched since season 1 like I have, you know what I'm saying. Marcel believes that. Marcel believes that you stay together for the kids. Marcel does not want another man in the picture. That's why I'm going to make sure that I'm here, right? Even if like I may not love my wife, I'm going to stay together for the kids. Marquez is the Lou. Marquez does not want to really take any accountability. Let me just say this. Okay, let me get comfortable. I told you I had a lot to say. Marquez and Latricia have been together since they were in high school, teenagers. People grow apart. And I 100% believe that, especially when you bring in the fact that you were teenagers, you were a child when you got with your now wife, pretty much. So who you were at 16, 17, 18 is not going to be the same person that you are at 30, 35, 40, however old they are. It's just not going to happen. So him not wanting to be with Latricia or Latricia not wanting to be with him, I completely understand. You know, some people believe that you don't get out of a marriage unless you get your ass whooped, right? But if they realize I never really was in love with this person, I love this person, because to me, from what I understand, they both said the same thing. I don't know if I was ever really in love with the person. Girl, we was in high school. We thought it was love. Then basically I got knocked up and then we got married because of the kids. You know what I'm saying? So if Marquez got to a point, he said that he realized in 2020, which was COVID, that he did not want to be with Latricia anymore. I think that was a wake up call for a lot of people. Now in 2020, we were stuck. Well, some of y'all, I'm by myself. You were stuck in homes with people every day, all day. And for some people, they realize I really don't like my husband. I really don't like my wife. I want out, right? So if Marquez got to the point where he realized that he was not happy and he did not want to be with Latricia, he should not have to stay in a marriage where he is not happy. Latricia should not have to stay in a marriage where she is not happy. I don't give a damn if it was 10 kids involved. They should not have to stay in a marriage where they are not happy, period. But what Marquez has to realize, where he starts to be on some ugly shit, is you moved to Atlanta. So he moved to Atlanta. Not because, oh, I got a job, right? Not because, oh, I had to move because my mama was about to die, my daddy was about, like, not I had to move. He moved because he felt like, girl, he was pissed off at Ken. Basically, that's basically what he said. I moved to Atlanta because Latricia got with Ken and he couldn't handle it, basically. Girl. And now he doesn't want to accept that there is a very big possibility that his daughter thinks that he left them. The fact of the matter is, you did. And even if you don't see it that way, your daughter sees it that way. Because The marriage came to an end. Okay. And not only did the marriage come to an end, you got your shit and you left town. And the daughter probably wouldn't feel that way if he knew how to communicate with his kids. Marquez does not know how to communicate, clearly. He believes that the daughter feels the way that she feels, right? She doesn't tell him that he loves her anymore. I think he even said that she said she hated him. Um, he wants to make it seem as though he raises his daughter, he raises his children. No, you don't. No, you don't. You already said you don't. You're not in the picture like that. That's why Ken picked up the ball, because you didn't keep the ball in your hands. Marquez is lying. You left at when your kids were what? Well, at least one of the kids was 7. You more than likely did not stay in contact with your children. Because let me tell you something. I don't give a good goddamn what nobody say. If you are an active father in your child's life, can't nobody else step up into the picture and become daddy. Now, of course, a man will become a father figure, right? They can become daddy Ken, but those children are always going to know who their father is. If you are an active father. But being that you were not an active father once you decided to leave the marriage, or once y'all decided that the marriage was going to come to an end, that's how Ken was able to step in and then pick up where you left off. And then got an attitude. You talking about Ken was the one who took your kids out of the country. You talking about Ken is the reason why your son has a car. What's the problem? Marquez has not said anything about Ken mistreating his children. Now, do I believe that Ken got a smart ass mouth? And do I believe that when Ken and Marquez had some words, Ken probably was swinging his ass every which way but loose? And do I believe that Ken probably said some slick shit like, yeah, I'm your kid's daddy now? I can believe it, yeah, because he was more than likely trying to hurt Marquez's feelings. I believe that multiple things can exist at the same time. I do believe that Marquez thought that he was going to take his ass to Atlanta, land a BBLs, have a good time, and he thought that Latricia was going to be in Huntsville stressed out. And when Latricia found her a good man, Savannah, and packed his ass on into the house, and those kids had a second father, as far as I'm concerned, a first father in their life, and he treats them with respect and kindness. Because that's the thing. Again, Marquez can't say, I ain't heard him say shit about Ken mistreating his kids. Ken's ego is bruised. His pride is hurt because another man stepped in and did his job. You ain't got no real beef with Ken. Okay, besides probably what Ken done said to him. I don't believe that Ken and Latricia was fucking around when they were together. Were they still legally married? Yes. But were they together? I don't think so. I think that Marquez done put that timeline in his head. He doesn't want to believe that his daughter thinks the way that she thinks. Let me tell y'all something. I don't have any kids. I don't know, and I will never know. Ooh, God said this. I don't want no kids. How it feels to be a. They're telling you how it feels. And I think one of the things that a lot of parents tend to forget is how they felt when they were kids, and the things that they saw, and the things that they heard. And it didn't take your mama or your daddy to come and tell you shit. You came to your own conclusion. Y'all better stop acting like these kids are dumb and they don't know shit, because they do. Y'all better stop acting like these kids don't hear shit, because they do. I remember, you know, when my mother was married to my stepfather, girl, I remember they would close the door, fussing and arguing, mama crying, and they thinking we don't hear nothing. You don't think we hear y'all? You know what I'm saying? Y'all think because y'all got the door closed, you don't think I heard my mama crying? You don't think when I see my mama walking down the hallway with bloodshot red eyes that she ain't just been crying? You think I think it's allergies, nigga? Like y'all really don't think that we know what the fuck is going on in this house? You know what I'm saying? So I think that for Marquez or Marquise, whatever his name is, to think that his kids couldn't have realized what was going on even at 7 lets me know that he's not attached to reality. And to think that his kids can't come to their own conclusion. Well, they may not know the ins and outs of mama and daddy's relationship. I don't think it's too far fetched for that girl to come to the conclusion that my daddy is not in Huntsville. He left us. What do we define a father as? That's what Marquez asks. Girl, being there for your kids, not just thinking that you're supposed to just throw some money in their direction, not thinking that you're supposed to just protect and provide. Girl, being there emotionally for your kids, being there mentally for your kids, having conversations with your kids, talking to your kids, raising your kids. He doesn't want another man in the house. I think it is. I think that it is absolutely asinine for any man or woman to think that they are going to exit a relationship, and we just gonna keep it on Ken. I ain't even gonna bring. I ain't even gonna bring. I ain't gonna bring y'all into it. But I think that it is absolutely weird that Ken thinks that he could exit the marriage, but then on the flip side, don't want another man in the house. In that case, girl, you should have just stayed together for the kids. You want to have it both ways. You don't want to be in the house, but you don't want another nigga in the house. Because you don't want another nigga raising your kids. When I tell y'all Marquez is fucking stupid, when that nigga, when Marceau asked him, what would you do? Like, you have a man who picked up where you left off. Because you ain't been raising your motherfucking children. If Ken was at the house and your daughter came home crying, what do you want Ken to do? Console her, hug her, let her know it's going to be okay, ask her what happened? Girl, he said he want Ken to say, call your daddy. Nigga, what the fuck did you just say? So you want your daughter to come home, because you in Atlanta with all the big booty hoes. You want your daughter to come home having a bad day at school, crying, emotional, and Ken is supposed to just sit there and say, call your daddy? Just like Marceau told him, even if you believe that Ken and Latricia were dealing with each other, whatever, you need to be able to say, okay, I don't like the way I feel like y'all got together. But on the flip side, I also have to commend you for stepping up and being a father figure for my children and not mistreating my children and showing my children kindness and respect. Because again, I ain't heard Marquez say one fuck thing about Ken mistreating his kids. So if he ain't mistreat your kids, that's all that matters. Okay, girl, y'all got to meet up and talk. At the end of the day, I'm about to say something that's going to piss a lot of y'all off. At the end of the day, I do understand why you would want to meet the person who's going to be around your kids. But also on the flip side, it really don't fucking matter because if Latricia don't want Ken going nowhere, Ken ain't going nowhere. So y'all can meet up and have a conversation until you turn blue in the face. It ain't gonna fucking matter. But I also get you should know and want to see, meet, girl, know who's gonna be around your children. But I don't think that he just wants to meet him. Ken ain't got no issue with you, Marquez. Marquez got the issue with Ken. Because Marquez is bothered that he thinks Ken is trying to take his place. But guess what? Just because you decide not to be in a marriage anymore, that should not stop you from being a fucking father. Marquez did not want to be married to Latricia, vice versa. That ain't got nothing to do with him being no daddy. You were not there for your wife when she was going through death after death after death because you didn't know how to deal with it. Okay, girl. Okay. But you ripping and running the streets. Now, not only do you not know how to deal with death, but now I don't know how to deal with Ken being with my wife, so I moved to a whole nother fucking city and state. What? But now you mad because your kids mad at you. But he needs to reevaluate big time and have a conversation with his kids. You have Marquez has fucked up because he has not been present in his children's lives for probably a few years since that taping, and now he's going to have to step in and do some explaining and have conversations. Um, I don't know. They didn't really say a lot about how the son feels. I think he was more so worried about the daughter because I'm assuming the daughter may be more vocal than the son. I don't know, but he's gonna have to do some. He gonna have to, girl. You gonna have to get Olivia Pope on the phone because you fucked up your relationship with your children. And now you mad at Ken because the people at the schoolhouse, girl, think that Ken is a daddy. Because Ken is the one who going to the father-daughter dances. Girl, Ken is the one who taking your children out of the country. Ken is the one who buying your son a car. That's why you really mad. Marquez giving ain't shit nigga. Marquez is giving, I thought that I was going to leave Latricia a single mama, and this bitch done went and got another man. And not only did she go get another man, she got a good man, Savannah. And yes, when Marquez and Ken got into it, Ken more than likely was talking shit. I give Marquez that. Girl. Melody and Nell meet up, girl. Melody tells Nell basically, girl, just go to therapy. Long story short, girl, just go to therapy. Dr. Francis, y'all know, y'all know, girl. You know, for the girls who don't know Dr. Francis, girl, I damn near was about to schedule a few therapy sessions with Dr. Francis because, girl, I was gonna have to take me about 5 boxes of Kleenex, and girl, he was gonna have to fix me. Okay, when I tell you, I absolutely adore Dr. Francis. I feel like personally, he is better when it comes to like the couples, right? Not to necessarily say I didn't enjoy the therapy session with him and the family, but I feel like his element from what I've seen is more so like the couples, if that makes sense. Long story short, they all agree that Nell does set realistic boundaries. Nell does not know how to talk to people. That's just what it comes down to. She don't know how to talk to people, and she saw all that hollering and screaming, and then the kids automatically shut down. I can say this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I have heard Chris yell since he's been on the show. I don't think I've heard Chris raise his voice not one time. I could be off, but even if he did raise his voice one time, it probably was one time. So I can see why the kids go to Chris, because Nell, she don't even start at 0. Nell start at 50, and then she go up to 100. Have y'all noticed that? Even like last episode, when she was talking to the kids, she was already like on edge from the get go. It wasn't a build up; it was already there. And then we gonna go from A part of me feels like Nell. Can I ask y'all a question? I don't know how this works, because it sounds like Nell just wants Chris to have her back, even if what if Chris don't think you right though? Like, wife or not? What if Chris really does not think that you are right? And that's why he doesn't have your back as often as you feel like he should, because what if he don't agree with you? Should he just have your back for the sake of just having your back? Even though I don't agree with how you handling the situation? Because they say the same thing. It's just that Chris has a different delivery compared to Neil. God, I call that woman Neil, whatever her name is. That's what they said. They both have the same delivery. It's just that Chris listens to his children, and he doesn't just start hollering and screaming. Nell basically has to go around and tell her kids positive things. That was their assignment. It was cute. I kind of teared up a little bit. You know who kind of fine? Just a little bit? Girl, Lance. Now, Lance look like he's 5'3". Girl. But Lance a little fine. I was like, Lance giving me kind of... I was like, okay. Okay, and then Latricia and Marquez, they meet up. Marquez does not like Ken. Girl, he's insecure. He's jealous. Girl, I said that man. If Marquez talk about Ken and his muscles one more time, girl, you can have you a muscle or two. Also, girl, if you want a little piece of muscle, go take your ass to the gym. Girl, I know you can do it because I had them before. Girl, all you gotta do is eat right and go to the gym. You can get some muscles too. Girl, I said, girl, he is bothered that Ken got all the muscles. Girl, I said, oh my goodness. This is the thing. I don't even think it's necessarily about Ken. I do think he's upset that Ken is a good man. I do believe that. But I also really believe that if it was Ken, James, bitch, Tyrone, Kevin, Pookie, Dee Dee, John, Junior, Daryl, Devin, Devon, it could have been any man. I think that he would have had a problem with any man because he's been very vocal about not wanting another man in the house. Even though I decided to get my shit and not only leave the marriage, but move to Atlanta, not because of a job, not because I had to go take care of my parents who were ill. I just upped and moved just because. But I still don't want another nigga in this house though. And even if another nigga come in here, I don't want him raising my children. And even if he sees my daughter crying, tell him, you better call your daddy. Shout out to Kaya. Call your daddy. And go back to watching the game. Even though the little girl just walks to the house boohoo crying. Nigga, it's weird. Listen, this is the thing. I'm about to wrap this up. Latricia basically tells Ken, you need to go have a conversation with your daughter. Girl, You think I'm over here telling her shit? I ain't telling her shit. Now, I believe. Let me just say this. Do I believe that the daughter could have heard Latricia in conversation before? Absolutely. Yes. Do I believe there are situations out there where you have mothers who will turn their kids against the fathers? Absolutely. I don't think this is the case. Yes, Latricia probably was going off one day and the children heard her. Yes. But I don't think that Marquez is helping the situation. When I look at Marquez and I hear what the shit that he's saying, girl, you don't want to believe that your daughter has come to these conclusions on her own. And you want to put it on everybody else. And it just can't be, oh, my daughter thinks this way because she thinks this way. He starts talking about how when he talked to Ken one time, Ken told him to check your bitch. I don't know if I kind of believe it. I do kind of believe that. But I also want to know why is it when he told Marsau the story, he said that Ken said, check your girl. I think that words matter. If that's what he said, you should have said that to Marsau too. How you gonna when it was Marsau, it was when I got into it with him, he told me to check your girl. But then now when I'm talking to Latricia, it's he said check your bitch. Why don't you say when you're talking to Marsau that he said check your bitch? You see what I'm saying? And girl, that's pretty much it, girl. In order to file for divorce, it's $400. He ain't got it. He want to go half on it. I mean, I guess, girl. Oh, excuse me. I want to know what he do for work. That's what I want to know. This review wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be. Let me look over my notes. Yeah, girl, that's pretty much it, girl. He needs to reevaluate big time and have combo with his kids and not just one. Plenty. Be a man of your word. Girl, if he really cared about his kids and the relationship he had with his kids, he will move his ass back to Huntsville. Because it doesn't sound like he moved out of Huntsville due to work. Like I said, girl, if it was work, I can understand. There are a couple of reasons why I could see why you have to leave town. Work is one of them. Girl, the people got to work. But I also don't think that he is communicating with his kids because even if he had to move out of town, he should have sat down and had multiple conversations with his daughter so your daughter would not think that you left her. But because you just got your shit and left, now you mad because your daughter think that you left her, left the family. You broke the family up. And then Marsau, girl, like I said, right message, wrong messenger. Because girl, we all know that Tisha over there, girl, stressed out raising them kids by herself. Marsau thinks that him being present in the home is his presence being enough. Marsau thinks that him being in the home, even though he does not help raise those kids, that means that that is enough. We know that Tisha raises those kids. Even this season, Tisha, when she had that conversation with Melody and Kimmy at the well, you remember they met were they making candles? I forgot what they were doing. Remember at the beginning of the season, and Tisha is still over there, girl, talking about motherhood and girl taking care of the kids. Remember when they all last year when they went to that the thing with when Dr. Francis called out Tiffany and Tisha was saying how she had to find somebody to watch the kids. Now, I'm not saying Marsau is trifling as Marquez, but what I am saying is that Marsau is not an on hands father either. Can't no nigga tell me shit when you say that those are Letitia's kids. I'm just the father. Can't no nigga tell me shit when you don't even know what your kids are allergic to. Girl, how you in the house with your kids and you don't know what they're allergic to? How you in the house with your kids and you talking about girl? I'm just the father. Those are her kids. That's the shit that Marsau said on TV. about his biological children. So Marsau ain't getting no Father of the Year award either. While I like the fact that Marsau was telling the truth to Marquez, Marsau ain't, like I said, Marsau ain't getting no Father of the Year award. So don't even think that. Because as far as I'm concerned, again, Letitia is a single married mama. On period. I'm gone, girl. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.